Welcome to TQ Training. Today we're looking at Spreadsheet Tutorial 3 on Functions, part 1 of 3. Today we're going to look at VLOOKUP, multiply two cells, and add multiple cells. Here we have a spreadsheet with 3 sheets underneath. We have some fixed delivery charges. That's our source material. It contains the information that we're going to need. The spreadsheets that we need to now change are our January and February costs. So in our January costs, we know that this fictitious company sent out 10 medium parcels, but the information about how much each parcel cost is missing, the total cost is missing, and the grand total is also missing. And we're going to use functions and formulas to fill in this information. The function we're going to use is VLOOKUP, which is vertical lookup. It's called that because we have columns which are vertical, and we're looking up information in these columns and we're making it appear somewhere else. So we want to find out the cost of a medium parcel. We could click on charges, see that a medium parcel is £1.12, go into there, manually type in £1.12. and then go back and do large parcel, and then the small box, and the extra large box, backwards and forwards, manually typing it in. And when we're only searching for 4 pieces of information, it wouldn't take too long. As you can see in February, we're searching for more information, and realistically, when you're using VLOOKUP, you could be looking at using hundreds of cells worth of information, and that then would be completely impractical to try and manually enter it all. So we're going to use our VLOOKUP function. There are 2 key points to VLOOKUP that you must always get right, and if you make a mistake on these, VLOOKUP probably won't work. The first key piece of information is that your source material must be in either alphabetical or numerical order. In our case, we are searching for different types of parcel, those are words, so we need this to be in alphabetical order. If we were searching for numbers, we will put it in numerical order. We highlight our source information, move up to the top, select data, and then we need to sort it A to Z. So we click on sort, and it's now rearranged it into alphabetical order. Now it's in alphabetical order, VLOOKUP should work. Going to our January costs, we want to find out this medium parcel, so the information we need is going to go in here. We go onto our function and we click on Insert Function with a left click, and it brings up this Insert Function wizard. If you can remember that it was VLOOKUP you wanted, you can just select it from your list. If you couldn't remember that it was called VLOOKUP, you can type in a brief description of what you're trying to do, click on OK, and your Excel spreadsheet will try and give you some selections of what it thinks you're looking for. And the more accurate your description is, the better this list becomes. Most of the time, you'll just go down to this bit here. Now here it contains the functions that you use the most. So the more you use your Excel spreadsheet, the more this list will be customized to you. So you can see the functions that are available on my list. I use sum if, sum, averages, ifs, VLOOKUP quite a lot, so they're appearing on my list. We can scroll that through. You've also got other options, and if you wanted to look at all the possible ones you could use, you can see the list of functions is enormous. Go back to our most recently used, click VLOOKUP, click on OK, and here's our VLOOKUP wizard. We've got some values here. The lookup value, you can see here it actually tells you underneath what a lookup value is. Now the lookup value is what we're looking for, and we're looking for a medium parcel. So with that there, we click on medium parcel. So it's saying lookup value is cell A4 medium parcel. Great, that's what we're looking for. The table array, let's click there. The table array is the table that contains the information to look in, and our table is here. So we click in A4, we drag down to B10 and let go, and that's our table array. That's where your Excel spreadsheet will look to find the words medium parcel, which is great because it's in there. What we need to do is between the 8 and the 4, we click in there and we pop in a $sign, which is Shift and 4. And we do the same thing between the B and the 10. We're putting in a $sign. These $signs are called anchors, and it makes these cells stay where they are. This is going to make more sense in a few minutes when we're going to do it again, and we'll do it deliberately wrong, and you'll see what happens when you don't put in your anchor. The third one here is column index number, and when we look at our information, we're telling it to look for this and then find the value, and our value is in our second column of our table. This is column 1, this is column 2. If this information was bigger, that would be column 3, column 4, column 5, and so on. But the numerical information we need is in column 2. So we click in here, column 2. We've got range lookup as well. You can see that's not in bold. It's something that doesn't occur very often and you're very rarely going to use. So we're going to leave that completely empty. We click on OK. And our spreadsheet thinks that a medium parcel is £1.12 based on where you've told it to look. So let's just double check that. A medium parcel is indeed £1.12. If we now click the cell and we move our cursor down to the black cross, click and drag, it's now filled in the VLOOKUP function in all of these cells and pulled out the information. When you first start using VLOOKUP, it's easy to make mistakes, so let's just randomly pick one of these, a small box. Let's just double check it is £2.78. Let's have a look. Small box, £2.78, great, we know it's right. So very quickly, by getting the VLOOKUP formula correct there, when we dragged it down, it got the VLOOKUP formula correct in all the other boxes. Let's do the same thing for our February costs, because with VLOOKUP, the best way to learn is just repeat, repeat, repeat. So in that cell, we want to get our cost, so we go to Function, we select VLOOKUP, click on OK, we click on our lookup value, medium parcel, we click on our table array, which is here, click and drag that. Before I put the anchors, the $sign in between A4 and B and 10. I'm not going to, and you're going to see what happens when you don't do it. Our column index is column 2. Click on OK, and then we've got our £1.12. So we didn't put our $sign in, but it's still got the right answer. But it's all going to start to go wrong now. We click the cell, drag down, pre-fill in all the other boxes, and it's not worked. So 3 of these, it doesn't know what the value is, and there is a chance that some of these values might even be wrong. And we're going to have a look at what's happened. We told it, and your formula is appearing up here when you click on the cell, we told it to do VLOOKUP to look for A4, medium parcel. In the charges sheet, look for A4 to B10 for the word medium parcel, and then pull the figure out from column 2. Great, that's what we wanted, A4 to B10. But then in our large parcel, it's moved it down to A5 to B11, A6 to B12, and with our extra large boxes, it's bumped it down to A7 to B13. But A7 to B13 is that information there. So when it was looking for the words extra large box in that highlighted information, those words aren't there, they're actually outside of the search area, and that's why it got confused. And it's because we didn't anchor this information, it kept moving it down. So let's go back to our February costs. We know that that was the good formula, we got that one bang on, and there it is. So we can either start all over again and do that, and let's check there and then put the $signs in, but let's do it a different way. With our cell highlighted, we can see our formula. Rather than bringing up the wizard and going the long way around, let's just go straight to the A4, pop our $sign in, go straight to the B10, click on there, put our $sign in, click on the end, press enter, and now when we drag down, it's not made a mistake. So if we look at our small parcel, 87 pence, small parcel, 87 pence, and another one, extra large box, 7.89, extra large box, 7.89. We know it's got it correct. There is a bit of a problem here in that the formatting of pounds and 2 decimal places, the VLOOKUP hasn't pulled across our formatting. So we will have to, once we've finished, format these cells. That was a previous lesson, and so we don't get a bit too bombarded with information, we're not going to go with that. We still need to figure out these total costs. The total cost is going to be that cell, the quantity, times by that cell, the cost per item, and it's going in there. So we click the cell that we want, click up here into our bar, and we do an equals. Then we click that cell, the multiply sign, which is an asterisk, which is Shift and 8. Click on that cell, press enter, and we've told it in here do B4 times by C4, and it's got our answer. Click and drag. Great, done the whole lot. Let's do the same thing with our February costs. We want an equals, which is the top line of the keyboard. That cell, asterisk, Shift and 8. That cell, press enter, and we're done. Click, drag, very, very quickly filled in all that information. So without that formula, you would have to have got your calculator out and done 10 times by 1.12 equals 11.2, 4 times by 1.53 equals 6.12, and so on. And with more information, it would have taken you longer and longer, whereas it took us seconds once we got the formula right at the start. When you're just playing with two cells, it's very straightforward. We were just doing that cell times by that cell equals that. When you are working with more than two cells, it gets a little bit more complicated, but not too much. So let's have a look at our January costs. We need to add up those 4 cells and pop them into this cell here. So we're playing with more than 2 cells now. We click on equals, and we type the word sum, and we put in a bracket, and then we click the cells we want to add, and then we close the bracket, press enter, and it's added them all up. So if we click back in there again, there's our formula that we put in. We told the spreadsheet do the sum of D4 to D7, which is telling it add everything up between D4 and D7. If you miss out brackets or you forget to put in certain words, the formula won't work, and you'll either get an error message that will just not give you an answer at all, or it'll give you an error message that suggests a correction. Sometimes the spreadsheet can figure out what you've done wrong and try and correct it for you. Let's have a look at our February costs. In that cell, we want the total of all of those. So we do equals sum, which you can type in uppercase or lowercase. You do your bracket. You click and drag, let go of the mouse, close your bracket, press enter. Very quickly added them all up for you. So now we have all of January's costs and all of February's costs using VLOOKUP, using multiply, and using add cells. VLOOKUP needs to be practiced over and over because it's very easy to forget, and when you first start using it, it's very easy to make mistakes. So that needs practice, practice, and practice. The multiply is a bit simpler, and the addition is a bit more complicated because you've got to remember things like brackets. Let's have a look at what we were aiming to do in today's session. We will look at to cover VLOOKUP, multiplying 2 cells, and adding multiple cells, which we've now done. What you now need to do is practice over and over.